All right, so today we're gonna epoxy the Nova. So here you guys can kind of see how things are masked off. I back tape everything. So you guys can see back tape everything. I gotta try to spray the inside of this back edge. So I got it kind of loose. One trick you can do is you just spray it in here and then the overspray will just get in there. So the rocker's on, that's all done. We got that welded up. All the holes, everything's all ground. I got it all back taped. One thing on these quarters, usually these aftermarket quarters, like right in these hard bends, when they stamp it, then it actually, what happened was it actually kicked this line and it kind of bulged out like that. It's not much of a bulge, but it is noticeable. The tape is there for reference as to where the line should be. And I mean, like I said, it's not much of a bulge, but it is noticeable. I mean, it's about an 1/8 inch on both sides. So I made the executive decision and fixed it. Actually kicked this line and it kind of bulged out like that. So when you were looking at the trunk, then it wasn't an even gap. It doesn't really matter with this car because he's going to have an aluminum spoiler that goes like from here all the way across, so you wouldn't even see it anyways. But I know it's there, so I had to fix it. But all I did was took a cutoff wheel, and it was only kind of bulged out probably like right in here. So I just took a cutoff wheel and just cut right inside the line, tapped it over, and then it was enough. And welded it up, and then I ground it down, and then I shaped it with a file because I didn't want to have to do any body work on it. So I kind of blocked it with a file, hit it with a DA. Did the same thing on this side. It was the same way. So now if you look down, it's actually nice and straight. They're right here and right here is supposed to be a bump stop, kind of indented like this. Whoever owned the car before had a fiberglass trunk lid, and they had drilled a hole through here for the pins to hold the trunk lid down. And the fastest thing to do was to just hammer and dolly it all flat, weld up the hole. So after we get some epoxy on it, you probably won't even see it. It had been hit in the rear at one point. This was all caved in. So I hammered and dollied it out, and it's all going to get covered by, I don't know if you can see it through the plastic, if it's even up here. Well, underneath that roll of tape, you can kind of see a piece of chrome or a piece of trim. So there's a piece of trim. There'll be the tail light and then the trim that goes all the way across. And then these big holes are for like his power disconnect and stuff for when he's at the track. I got everything masked and taped to the ground. What else did we have to weld last minute on this? I don't know. Masking it off, I found a couple tacks. There was a weld under here that had to be ground. There was a weld inside because there was a bunch of holes drilled in this for the old Lexan glass where it used to screw in. Now it's going to be getting a factory back glass and a factory windshield. So my buddy Matt went through and welded those all up. But he missed a couple welds, so I had to touch them up. This I'm not worried about right now. I'm going to get this epoxied, and then I'll fix this when we're welding in this dash. He's got a new dash piece right here because the old one was all rusted out. So now it's all the bare metal, like the roof I DA'd with 80 grit. We wire wheeled around everything. What works the best is a wire wheel that the bristles are on the outside, not the cup style. So I think I put it all away. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, it's in the car. But instead of the cup style like this, what works really good is the ones where the bristles are on the outside. And the best one to get is the one where the wires are braided or they're twisted, because then it's really stiff. So like it kind of looks like rust pits, but it's all cleaned out. We'll epoxy everything and you won't even know. So buzz the roof down. I have one of those Eastwood strippers. I mean, you can, one of those, what is it? The Eastwood SC something. You can get them at Harbor Freight now for like $100 or $200, but they take these big 4-inch wheel discs. So I used one of these on the roof. They're nice and aggressive. They got all the little rust pits and all the rust off from it sitting for so long in bare metal. But now all I got to do is just kind of blow it off and it's ready for epoxy. So here, everything's all back taped. What works pretty good, like this trunk lid, you can see, the trunk lid's going to come up and then bow. So if you run a piece of tape along that high spot where it's going to bend over, it just helps a lot more masking this. Oh, I gotta mask that. So I gotta do one more final walk around on this thing. Check everything, make sure that all the tape is down, and then I should be able to mix up some epoxy and start going to town. So after 2 coats of epoxy, it's all done. So there you go. Until next time, take care.